Hello geeks and gamers, Matt Levy here with your gamer goggles. Today we have another flip through for you, and this flip through is dedicated to Eric Bauer. Those of you that are familiar with Eric know that he is the mastermind behind Gaming Paper. If you don't know what Gaming Paper is, check it out. Eric supported us last year in our coverage of Gen Con, so I wanted to dedicate this video to him. I know he's an avid Pathfinder player, a role player in general, so it's very suiting that the Range Tactics Toolbox is dedicated to him, and well, technically all Gaming Paper and all their fans, because they actually all partook and helped in my Kickstarter as well, because that's how Eric found out about it, supposedly. So, anyway, today we're looking at the Range Tactics Toolbox from Pathfinder, and if you open up the front cover, the very first thing you see is a ranged weapons arsenal, and that continues through to the back cover. I like this particular idea and concept of the throwing shield. In some ways it's a little, counterproductive. You're throwing your defense. But anyway, I like this book. I'm going to start off by saying that. I don't always start off by saying that I like a book. I generally kind of wait until the end, and we're going to zoom in here real quick, and we're going to take a look at the page that says for your character. This character, you know pretty much right off the bat if it's for you. And this book is geared for fighters, monks, rangers, rogues, and then there's different things that are for every type of character, and there's feats, new weapons, new tools, new magic. The book includes about half of the book is actually about tactics and how to do things, improve your tactics, ideas and things that you might not have thought of. One of my favorite sections of the book is this little insert that's almost always on page 5, and it's almost always one of my favorite sections. It gives you some of the cultural ranged weapons that are found in Galaria. And here's where I was talking about how it talks about tactics. It goes through close range tactics, mid-range tactics, long-range tactics, and range tactics. And we're going to pop back a page to, I guess it's long-range tactics. Some of the things that struck me. And, I've been a role player for years now. Probably more years than many of you are alive, and I don't mean to date myself, but in all fairness, I did start playing role-playing at a young age. I started role-playing in 3rd grade. So there's a lot of experience. And some of these things I didn't apply when I use these things. And as a DM, I certainly don't apply all of these. And one of those, for example, is in general tactics, they always have a couple of different ideas. One in long range is to keep a low profile, which I didn't realize gave you a +4 to your armor class. And they do that with, all the different ranges. And then they list specific tactics, like, for example, in close range, one of the things they do is I'm right there, avoid attack of opportunities. And they go over this whole section on how you can take feats and different things that will help you avoid your attacks of opportunity. And then, they list things like throw something, flip a table, things like that. Or, one of the tactics they had was shoot over low terrain. Put it between you and the person you're in combat with, or the monster you're in combat with. Obviously, with some monsters that won't work. But then they have different feats for each section, and they also have potentially a different archetype in each section. Like, for example, they introduce jugglers with new rogue talents. And then in the medium-ranged section, they have the Far Strike Monk archetype. And one of his bonus feats is Fast Thrower. At 1st level, a Far Strike Monk gains Quick Draw as a bonus feat. At 4th level, he gains Shot on the Run. At 8th level, when using Shot on the Run feat, he can make a second range attack. So, they do a lot of different things. They include the Primal Hunter. One of my favorite feats in the book is Lob Shot, which is basically the old stereotypical shot that you would get from a group of archers firing over a castle wall. I thought it was a good introduction to the game. And then after you go through your ranged tactics, you move into ranged magic attacks. And, a lot of these things aren't new to many of us, but if you're a new player, or if you want to take a route with your magic user, or your caster, I should say, that's very focused, you can do that. One of the cooler archetypes in the book is the Magus Arcana, and basically he has an ability that allows him to take his bow and turn it into a ranged magical weapon. He has Pool Ray, can expend 1 point from his arcane pool, standard action, to infuse a ranged weapon with an elemental power. And then what else does he do? Well, he does some other cool stuff, like he has reach magic and he has throwing magus. But, those are the basics behind him. And, the following Magus Arcana are best suited magi in range combat, such as the Myrmidarks from the Pathfinder Ultimate Combat Guide. And then there's a section on special tactics, which one of these is really good. For example, specific tactics, they tell you to use build magic walls. Spells such as Wall of Ice or Stone Shape can quickly reshape the battlefield. There was another good one, and actually I think that was in mid-range. Oh, yeah, no, it was ranged magic attacks. Learn Stone Call. 2nd level spell, deals damage across large area with no saving throw or attack required, and can hit numerous targets. So the book is full of not only the types of things that are going to make your characters stand out and be more like the Green Arrow type characters, or be Hawkeyes, but it has a lot of things to round them out. It has a section on certain types of ranged weapons, and it dissects them a little bit and goes over their parts. It's not too detailed, but it's an interesting page or two. It's not something that they spend a lot of time on. I mean, clearly there's enough time there on art and things like that, but it's not a central focus to the book. And then they move into new ranged weapons, and they're ranged weapons. My favorite is actually the stone bow, which is basically a crossbow that shoots the rocks that you would normally use to sling, I should say bullets, to sling ammunition, or for sling ammunition. So it shoots those instead, so it's kind of like a handheld catapult. And then you move into some tools and equipment. And of course you have magic weapons in the book, and you have magic ammunition, which I really am fond of the Arrow of Charming, at least at a low to mid-level range. It's something that I would like to see in my campaign. Some of the other things are pretty specialized. There's some new bows. There's new weapon abilities, or ranged weapon special abilities, like sniping. It adds a +5 competence bonus on stealth checks. And then there's some wondrous items. And pretty much, outside of the spells that are new in the book, you get some of those. Oh, and they add to the list of summon monsters. So they give you, by Summon Monster 2 all the way out to Summon Nature's Ally 9, they give you a list of monsters that have ranged attack in them, if you wanted to truly focus on your magic spells and everything that your character does being ranged, or if you're a GM, the NPC. Now we're going to zoom in. We're going to take a look at Bloody Arrows, because Bloody Arrows is kind of neat. There's no saving throw. That was a cat on the piano, I think. No saving throw. Spell resistance, none. Whenever this spell's target hits a creature, it causes them 1 point of bleed damage, but what's neat about the spell is the bleed damage can be up to half your casting level. So it is pretty cool. And then we're at the back of the book. So what do I think of this book? Well, being a player who is currently playing a rogue who has a mediocre, well, not mediocre, but a balance between ranged combat and close combat, I find the book to be very good. I'm going to use a lot of the tactics that are in here for close and mid-range to round out my character and make him better at doing ranged, or make his range more efficient before he has to switch weapons, which is one of the big things that kills you in ranged combat, is switching your weapon. Outside of that, it's a great tool for DMs, GMs who want to introduce some of these ideas or broaden the horizon of some of their players and make them think a little bit outside of the box that the players tend to get stuck in. Because let's face it, every player has their own box and their own way of thinking. And sometimes as a DM, so you don't get stuck into a rut, it's good to try and push them out and beyond that. So anyway, thanks for watching. We're going to have a Kickstarter very soon, March 1st. Please check it out. Put it on your calendar. It's going to be for Season 4, and we got a lot of things planned. So I'm hoping that you enjoy it and you enjoy these videos. If you do, please subscribe to us. Leave me some feedback. Let me know if I'm giving you too little information, just enough, not enough. I consider this kind of like a service to the community, largely because some of my friends told me that's what it is. I was just sharing in my opinion, but I guess it is a service. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a good day.